I was recently interviewed by the local news to give my opinions about the 2024 housing market expectations. I sat there with the reporter for over 45 minutes having a great back and forth conversation, answering questions, and then when the news story came out, it was all condensed to about 2 minutes. And that is just the matter of fact of how the news world works. So today, I want to do a little bit deeper dive into all the questions that I answered and give you guys out there a better summary of the conversation I had.
Keep it real, I keep it real, I keep it real, just keep it real.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Sam Hartman, keeping it real estate here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And so this was a local Fort Wayne news station. I've kind of become the unofficial real estate correspondent for Wane15 News, and I'm so grateful for their news team to always reach out to me and include me in their stories about the real estate market, our local real estate market and national market trends. So thank you guys at Wane15 News. I'm really appreciative of always being included. With all that being said, like I said, we had a great 45-minute conversation. So I want to kind of go back through some of the questions that I was asked by the reporter and give a little bit deeper conversation and context to some of the answers that I gave. And so first and foremost, a very broad and simple question is, what can we expect out of the housing market in 2024? And I've been looking at some data and putting together some talking points because needless to say, going into the holiday season, I'm gonna get a lot of questions from people. Sam, how's the market? Oh, it's getting crazy out there. You know, these types of comments, I like to have some data to back up my response and give a true great opinion for what's happening in our real estate market so that I can provide some context to people that are asking those questions. Maybe it's small talk, maybe they really truly care, but I wanna be my best version and my best self and give a good opinion. So first of all, one of the first key things we're looking at going into 2024 is interest rate. Interest rates have been the talking point of the day, all of 2023. And trying to project interest rates has kind of been a fool's errand. If you projected, they often were revised and revised again and revised again. Interest rates have been very volatile all of 2023. But if we step back and look at some different data, we see that mortgage rates tend to follow inflation. As inflation rises, interest rates tend to rise. As inflation comes down, interest rates tend to come down. So we are getting great inflation data that inflation is getting under control and getting close to the point where the federal government wants to see it. So with that being said, we expect interest rates to follow, which should result in a lowering of mortgage rate in 2024. Now, it always seems like mortgage rates take the elevator up and the stairs down. So it might be a little bit of a slower, more precipitous fall, but we do expect to see some relief in interest rates in 2024. Next is always a big question is what's going on with home prices? Are they going up? Are they going down? People like to use the C word, crash, and we just don't have any data that supports that. So there's a survey called the Home Price Expectation Survey, and it's a survey of over 100 economists and real estate experts. So it's gathering a lot of thoughts, a lot of opinions to put together a concise estimate and projection for home values. And so the Home Price Expectation Survey states that they expect a 3 to 5% annual appreciation over the next 5 years. And that's about as far out as they projected out. So if you're buying a home today and you have a 5-year window that you're gonna live in that home, you should buy with confidence that you're gonna see moderate but still good appreciation in your home over the years. And lastly is the economy. What's happening in the economy? Are we going into a recession? What should we be concerned about there? Well, a year ago, 62% of economists expected us to have a recession in 2023. But today, that projection has been updated and 52% of economists don't think we're gonna have a recession at all. Now, that's pretty close to 50-50, so there obviously are still a lot of uncertainties out there. But one of the key economic indicators that we have going for us is that employment is staying so strong. We've been at about 3% unemployment. As it's risen a little bit, we're still under 4%. So this is all great signs as it points to the economy and the housing market as a whole. The second question I answered is, what has changed in in the housing market for sellers. And I think this was a great topic of conversation I had with the reporter, because I was able to go deep into what's changed for home sellers and put it in perspective with the context of the market over the past several years. So one of the things that has changed for home sellers is that we are seeing homes take longer to sell. And that's because there's just lower buyer traffic, lower buyer demand because of the higher interest rates. So although it's not the lightning quick sales of the pandemic years, we are still seeing a strong seller's market with low inventory and historically strong days on market at about a month. Because of this longer days on market, we're not seeing as many multiple offer situations. Now, the price point of homes that are seeing those multiple offer situations is the more entry-level, first-time home buyer price points. Those buyers have a little bit better affordability at those lower price points, so there's still a strong buyer demand. So a hidden opportunity for home sellers is if you own one of those starter homes, you've got great strong buyer demand, but the move up home that you might be looking to purchase is where we're seeing lower demand. So maybe you're gonna get a great sale price on your sale of your home and have more negotiating power on the purchase of your next home. So that's something to consider for the sellers out there that might be in a situation like that. And then lastly, what's changed for home sellers is that we're seeing a more moderate price appreciation. Now we're talking about that 3 to 5% appreciation over the next 5 years, and that's good. That's more in a normal range, but we're not seeing the 10%, 12%, 16% that we saw during the pandemic years. So what that means for sellers is when your neighbor's home sells, that doesn't mean you get to list your home next month for an extra $30,000. We have to be really, really specific about pricing in this market because buyers are very sensitive to that pricing and affordability piece of purchasing a home in today's market. The next question I answered is, are there opportunities for buyers in today's market? And I want to start by talking about one of the key challenges, because a lot of real estate agents are just going to speak to the high heavens about why you should buy a home and now's the time to buy and don't be afraid to buy. And you know, I agree with a lot of that, but there's also, you got to put some context behind it as well. And so the challenge here is October of 2023, we actually saw the absolute worst housing affordability we've ever seen because of high prices, because of high interest rates, and because buyers' incomes haven't increased enough to bridge that gap. We saw the lowest level of homeownership affordability. Now, as interest rates are ticking down, we're getting relief on that affordability index, which is great news, but it's not all rainbows and sunshines for buyers. Buyers have a lot to think about and a lot to consider and a lot to plan for if they're gonna buy a home in 2024. But here's the opportunity for buyers. There's not as much buyer demand. Homes are sitting on the market longer, and so you have more negotiating power. So perhaps there's ways that we can leverage those longer days on market, leverage that lower demand to get you seller credit or a lower purchase price. And all of this kind of goes into that upfront planning and conversation I do with buyers to help them be prepared for the market that we're going into. And so lastly, my best advice for a buyer in going into 2024 market is to be prepared. Start the conversation with a realtor early. Reach out to me early so we can be really hyper focused on the numbers, on the budget, on the trends of the market so that you can feel prepared and confident, because affordability is a struggle and I want you to feel as strong and confident in making your home purchase decision as you possibly can be. Here's a great question that the reporter asked me, and she asked, what would it take for us to get back to the pandemic real estate market where homes were selling very quickly and homes were appreciating very quickly? And my answer to that is, we don't want to go back to that market. That was a challenging market in itself because buyer demand was so high and it infused the economy with so much money, which is what now led to this high level of inflation. So we don't ever want to see a housing market that's lit on fire like that. We like a more conservative market, a more balanced market where appreciation is steady. And so that is kind of my take on that, is that, and I think that's our leaders and our government's take, is that we want to do anything we can to try to avoid a market like that ever again. The next question, and I love this question because real estate is hyper local. She asked, what is unique about Fort Wayne's market? And here's my one major belief and love of Fort Wayne's real estate housing market. It's that we are a conservative market. Think back to the great financial crisis, the housing crash. of 2008. Across the country, the real estate market dipped by over 20%. There were some markets that lost 40%, 50%, even 60% in their home's value. But here in Fort Wayne, during the 5 years following 2008, our housing market only depreciated by 5%. When I say our market is conservative, I mean when the market dips low, we don't dip as low. And when the market is sky high, we're more conservative and we're not as high. The pandemic years of appreciation saw over 20% appreciation on average across the nation. Fort Wayne's top appreciation during that time was 16%. So again, strong, positive appreciation, but in the grand scheme of the real estate market, very conservative. So what's my best advice for home sellers and home buyers out there as we go into the 2024 real estate market? And I think this is advice no matter what real estate market we are in, and that is that preparation is key. If you're a home seller, buyers have really high expectations of the homes that they want to write an offer on. That's because the prices are high, the mortgage rates are high, and so if they're gonna pay top dollar in these ways, they expect a lot from the home that they're gonna purchase. So as a home seller, we have to put the energy and the effort into the preparation of the condition of the home, the updates of the home, the marketing plan of the home, to make sure that we are capitalizing on this low inventory market and capturing the buyers that are out there in today's market. And for home buyers, the same advice. Preparation is key. Don't wait until you're a month away from your lease ending or mom and dad are kicking you out of the house to call me. Let's start the process as early as possible. I think 12 months is a great lead time to begin the conversation. If you are starting to have little tinges in your mind that buying a home might be on your docket in 2024 or 2025, I think we should have the conversation now. I can help prepare you for the market trends, what goes into the home buying process, and help you feel strong and prepared and confident to enter the real estate market. So again, thank you for sticking with me and diving deep into this review of my real estate interview with Wane15 News. Thank you again to Wane15 for always reaching out to me when you guys need an expert opinion on Fort Wayne's housing market. I really, truly appreciate it. And to keep it real estate with me, guys, just follow along my YouTube channel or my Instagram or my Facebook page for more. I'm always trying to bring content like this so that you guys can find the context and the clarity and the confidence it takes to be a strong consumer in today's real estate market. Keep it real estate out there.